Dave.
Sean.
Hi, you okay?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited about this evening. Do you remember cast yourself back to over a year ago now when we started doing the streaming?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And I said to you, Dave, are we allowed to swear on stream?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that question has recurred quite a few times.
Yes.
Since we started.
Yeah. And I think we decided that no, we weren't going to.
Well, we were going to try and avoid it.
We were going to try and avoid it.
Have slipped out every now and again. Sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I feel like that kind of went by the wayside, which is a good job because we're playing Disco Elysium, and there is going to be swearing.
There's a little roar, is it?
There is. Oh boy. So Disco Elysium. This is a game that I originally. So this year I decided I'm going to start playing games in genres I don't like, and kind of games I'd normally avoid. And this falls into that category, I think, or at least from what I was hearing about the game, didn't fit. It didn't seem like it would be my cup of tea. So I thought, right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it. And then I got to a point in the game where I actually ended up getting stuck, and I was like, "Oh, everyone's saying this is great. I'm really annoyed. Like this, it was really annoying." And I really was like, "Oh, I'm not going to be able to play this." And but I got back into it, and now I'm totally switched. I really like it. It's really interesting.
Okay.
So the way I'm going to describe it before we jump in. Have you seen Inside Out, the Pixar movie?
You know what? That's one of those Pixar movies I haven't actually seen, but I'm aware of the concept.
Okay, so the concept of Inside Out is that you're watching a child slowly, go into, I think, it ends up being quite, she clearly has real mental issues, but you're seeing all the voices in her head, kind of you're seeing it all through the characters in her head, which happen to be her emotions.
Yeah.
Disco Asylum is that, but I don't like a massively dystopian adult version of that.
Okay, interesting.
So which it will become apparent what I mean by that.
I was going to say that wasn't what I was expecting the direction of this stream to take. No. Yeah, that wasn't the analogy I was expecting.
Yeah.
To be honest, because it's got disco in the title, I was expecting heavy disco references, and as soon as you said, Dave, do you remember, I just started hearing that disco song that has that quite famous line in the chorus. So you can see how I'm quite already having to shift my expectations quite a lot. So
in Disco Elysium, right, so it's a role-playing game. I thought we'd start a new game tonight. It's a detective game, so I thought we should try and pick a detective that we're going to role-play as. Now, I'm gonna I have a suggestion. Can I go with my suggestion?
Hey, you're in the driving seat.
I was thinking House.
Oh wow. Okay, so I'm gonna have to stop you there because I've never watched an episode of House.
You've never watched House?
Never, not a single one.
House
never appealed.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, House is kind of like Sherlock Holmes, but he's a doctor.
Right.
That's
okay.
What House
well, I can just channel Holmes then, if you like.
Yeah, we could go with. I guess so. But then I haven't really seen much Sherlock Holmes stuff. So between us,
you'll be doing House and I'll be doing Holmes, and I'm sure we'll be kind of somewhere.
Is there any other? Do we have any other detectives we could go for that are a bit? Should we stick with it?
Well, I mean, immediately my first thought is Columbo.
Okay, so I wouldn't know much about.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, what did you watch any daytime TV?
Not really, no.
See, we're just. I mean, this is why we work well together. We're yin and yang in a lot of ways.
We have a. Have you watched Justified?
Yeah, I watched a couple of episodes. Again, didn't really get into it.
I was going to suggest Raylan Gibbons, but you should watch. I thought you were a Western guy.
I like Deadwood. Sorry.
Yeah.
Deadwood / I also like Westworld, which is why I went with Deadworld.
Okay, we're going to go with House, and you're going to learn about House.
Okay.
So he's kind of like he's kind of anyway. So
again, you're in the driving seat. That's fine.
So I've selected new game. I'm going to try my best not to overwrite my own save. That would suck. But I haven't got that far in, so it wouldn't suck that bad. So you can either pick an archetype or we can create our own. I feel like we have to create our own, right? I feel like that's what we're going to... I've not actually looked at the create your own.
Okay, that's fine.
So we have...
It doesn't look like there are a lot of attributes anyway, so...
No, so we've got intellect, psych, physique, motorics. Your sense is how agile you are. Now, okay, I'm going to put them all down to 1. Okay. We'll start there. Now, House is like incredibly intelligent. That's his whole thing. So we can go... I think genius is how I describe it, but that's quite a lot there, but we'll see how this goes. Psych, sensitivity, how emotionally intelligent you are. He's not at all. Yeah. Okay, so terrible makes sense. Now, he has an injury. He has a chronic leg pain. So,
yes, he's always hobbling around.
He's always hobbling, so his physique is probably also terrible.
Okay.
But this feels like... It senses how agile you are. Probably not very agile either. I don't know, physique, though, like, he might actually be average physique, but just he's not very, like, agile. He's not agile.
Okay, fair.
Those things are different, right?
Yes.
I'm going to say, actually, it's a weak, so emotionally intelligent. He kind of... He knows when he's done something bad. Okay. But he doesn't like to admit it, I think. He hides. He actually is quite emotionally intelligent, but he hides it. Okay. So we're going with a genius, weak, average, terrible person.
Okay. This seems pretty lopsided, but fine. I mean, sometimes in role-playing games that works.
Yeah, so let's just see. I don't know. Like, so we're going to go in. There's some voice acting. Others I will talk through the text. So we get to pick a skill. So right. So we've got logic. So this is our signature skill. So I guess this is something. So logic, wield, raw. It's got to be something in this row, I think.
Right.
But these. So I was saying how this is kind of like Inside Out.
Yeah.
These are all characters in the game who will speak to you. So as you're kind of going through the game, these are voices in your head, and you have conversations with them, and they have conversations with each other as you're making decisions. It's really interesting and kind of amazing. So there's logic, which wield raw intellectual power, deduce the world, which seems very like house, homes type thing. Encyclopedia is knowing everything.
Raw knowledge.
Rhetoric, the art of persuasion. Drama is play the actor, lie and detect lies. Conceptualization, understand creativity, see art in the world. Visual calculus, which is one of my favorites. Reconstruct crime scenes, make laws of physics work for the law.
I wonder why you're drawn to that one.
I think logic, probably, right?
If we can we only pick one of these?
I think so. I think I'm setting signature. Okay. So surely logic is the signature skill.
I think for the little I know of House, and I'm willing to be led by you, it would be a logic or encyclopedia.
Yeah, I'm going to say logic, because the whole idea is that he's more of a... He works for this department that is all to do with like weird diseases that no one knows about, so encyclopedia doesn't help him very much.
Oh, okay.
So confirming that. And here we go into the game.
Okay, so that character creation's not too onerous.
No.
Is this got voice?
There is some voice. There is some that I will read out. And so I wasn't sure about playing this because I thought there'd be a lot of reading, but actually I watched a few streams and it works quite well. Okay. So I'm just going to click begin.
There is nothing. Only warm primordial blackness. Your conscious ferments in it. No larger than a single grain of malt. You don't have to do anything anymore.
So I'll let Dave... When I go quiet, Dave, that means that there's probably talking. You'll be in... So, yeah. I've set the text big. So can you read it okay?
I can, and then that one at least has some voice. I mean, what's weird for me, obviously, is because I tend to have the streams on mute so that it doesn't echo with...
with you hearing yourself. It would go crazy. Okay, so we're talking to our ancient reptilian brain.
Good.
So I can either say never, ever, ever, or just simply keep on non-existing. So I'm going to say never, ever, ever.
forever, baby.
And now I'm going to simply keep on non-existing.
Time passes. It is only void of struggle. No ex-wives are contained within it.
I think this is going to be a this is great for House.
It is.
Give me some more.
You got it, sweet brother. Nothing upon nothing upon nothing.
What do you think? I like nothing, or how about you cough up some more of that sweet oblivion?
I mean, there's already. I'm super interested in how this branching dialogue is actually working, but we'll get to that in a mo.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with I like nothing. I think House is a bit like.
I know you do, baby.
Yeah. Oh, and then we're going.
Coming right up, sir. Smooth passage. All right. Nothing town to fuck all borough.
Return trip to the silence, please. Let's visit the ancient Zero home. What do we think? Okay. 1, 2, or 3, Dave?
3.
Not you. Your days of giving a shit and being that type of animal are over.
I think the wait. No, I need to belittle. What? No, I'm gonna go with the don't stop.
Yeah, I don't think House would belittle himself.
No, he's kind of self-destructive, but not in that way.
But arrogant with it, isn't
he? Yeah.
Bloated man meet around you. A sensation.
Okay.
Like a fly to the ointment, your conscience sticks to it. The limbed and headed machine of pain and undignified suffering is firing up again. It wants to walk the desert, hurting, longing, dancing to disco music.
I quite like the first response. But would House be annoyed, like, take me back to this formula? I think House wants to be in the formless. The
stench of liquor rises from your mouth, and with it, an ungodly headache. A fiery streak penetrates your skull, trying to force your eyes open. It's a sound, a clarion call from hell.
The voice acting of the these people are very good. So here's one of my kind of skills, I guess, talking to me. Like, so encyclopedia. Somehow you know what it is. Oh my god, I'm going to be pronouncing a Coprius Canema motor carriage. Okay, open your eyes. So this was okay. So here's the thing here. So this was a skill check that happened behind the scenes. So depending on your skills and certain things, this might not happen. Open your eyes. Okay.
Well, we've all been there, right? I mean.
Okay, so this is the game. So the way that it basic controls, I just click around and I click on things. So to do stuff, I can push tab to highlight objects in the scene that I can look at, and there's clearly like these objects here that are highlighted. So where should we go, Dave? Bottle. Like, where do you want me to go?
I mean, call me a prude, but maybe we should put some trousers on.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to take the trousers, and all these trousers have an effect on your stats, not just trousers. Okay, perception, hearing. You hear a jingle. Keys are clinking in the pocket of your flare-cut pants. Fish them out. Sight.
At least they're flares, aren't they?
Yeah. This is where the disco comes from. It says whirling in rags on the aluminium keyring. There is a single key on it on the ring. The number 1 is etched on it. It should open the door.
Okay.
Encyclopedia. Oh, that was a challenging one that we got success. The Whirling in Rags is a hostel cafeteria on the urban coast, frequented by dock workers. Okay. So I can now look. I should have. If I click on my inventory, I've got my pants on. and that's giving me -1 Savior Fair. What does that mean, Dave? Savior Fair?
Savior Fair. That would be French for. Let me quickly just Google it. I'm assuming it's kind of. I'm not looking. I'm just assuming. I'm going to make a guess, and then I'm going to actually look. I'm guessing it's like. Fuck, I have no idea.
No. Savior Fair.
Maybe caring. Know-how.
Sneak under their noses, stun with immense panache. It urges you to be better than you are. It urges you to be disco.
Okay. So dictionary definitions for savoir-faire: a French noun phrase that means being adaptable and knowing what to do in any situation.
Yeah. Okay. So I lose that because these are tight around the thighs, but I get +1 electrochemistry because they're tight around the crotch.
Oh, the crotch, nice.
Yeah.
Showing off the goods.
Okay. Right. So I'm gonna put a shirt on then, I guess.
Well, I mean that for me is less essential, but you know.
Well, I've got to put. I put my blazer on, which gives me a
Is there a lot of French stuff in this?
Yeah, there seems. Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Is that a tie up there?
It sure is.
Right, let's talk to the fan, shall we? Okay, ceiling fan. This fan has two chain pull switches. One ends in a tiny fan, the other in a light bulb. A truly horrific necktie has somehow attached itself to one of the blades. So we can do a skill check, which is a low chance, to try and grab the tie. I can pull on the fan or pull on the light bulb. I feel like
I don't like the idea of pulling on an electric fan, if I'm honest.
No.
Why would you touch the light bulb? So it's skill check or bust for me.
Okay, then let's do the skill check. You you reach out to grab the tie, but what's this? Diffuse radiating chest pain. Doom comes over you. Grab your chest.
This seems a little extreme.
Ceiling fan. This is bad. Feels like sharp stones grinding in your chest and keeping you from moving for quite a long time. Still ongoing. Now is a good time to start worrying. Finally, the pressure recedes. You find yourself covered in cold sweat and trying not to move, hoping it will keep you from dying.
Wow.
I'm going to pull on the fan. I think it's pull on the fan switch. That should be. The blades come squeaking to a halt. It should now be easier to reach the tie. Okay, so now it's a medium skill check. Mm-hmm. So I could have taken the trousers off and then my savoir-faire would have been
easier.
Yeah. I failed again. Oh no, it's happening again. You didn't catch it, and now there's numbness in your left arm plus half your chest. It's even worse this time. Maybe you should stop trying to catch the tie.
Yeah, maybe.
Still happening, definitely worse than the last time. Finally, the stabbing recedes. You could try doing it again to see how painful it gets, but you'd probably die.
No, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Let's just leave. I don't even know why we're doing this. I hate ties.
Okay then. So what's quite quite nice about the system is that it's when I mouse over this choice, it tells me I'm getting +3 because the fan is turned off. If you look, so when it was turned on, that was a 0, but I'm getting a bonus because I turned the fan off. Mm-hmm. Should I turn the light on?
No.
Okay,
I mean, it's pretty well lit, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Right. Where should we go next? There's a bottle down here. This magnum-sized bottle of Commodore Red is empty.
Okay.
Okay.
Hence holding your head.
Yeah.
And waking up without any clothes on the floor.
Looks like someone tore out the tape while the song was playing. Oh, I can see all the tape just kind of messed up. This reel-to-reel tape player is still on, rolling empty. Okay. Should I put my shoe on? There's a shoe here.
I mean, I guess the question is, are we going out? Are we off out somewhere?
Well, I guess, we're not going to spend the next how many hours in this room.
True, but we've now got one shoe.
We've got one shoe.
Which is crazier than having no shoe. Just FYI.
Yeah. Is it? I suppose it is,
definitely.
Isn't it?
100%. It's crazy.
Maybe I should. Okay, so are you saying that I should take it off? I've taken it off.
Until we get the other shoe.
Okay.
Yes.
Am I going in the bathroom? Do you want me to go in the bathroom?
I think you should look in the bathroom before we leave.
Right. Oh, there's a shirt. I haven't got a shirt on.
Nice. So
I could walk around with just the
bare-chested jacket look.
Yeah. So I quite like some of these. So like this shirt. Okay, the shirt gives me +1 to conceptualization, a real statement to wear, and -1 to suggestion because of the unsavory odor.
Right.
Okay. Looking in the bath, you see bottles in the bathtub, wine, beer, and sweet liqueurs.
Wow. Okay.
So what's this?
That's where we keep the stash.
Is that a mirror?
Looks like the way you'd have a mirror, yeah.
Mirror. A mirror hangs above a bent and broken sink. In a fierce discharge of masculine energy, someone has ripped half the faucet off.
Nice. That sounds like a house. Oh, wait. No, it doesn't.
Okay. Conceptualization. Was this not the same elan that founds empires and lays waste to cities, viral, uncaring towards the little things? And my logic, probably not, no. Mirror. Hot water sprays from the faucet's base and steam covers the mirror. You cannot see yourself, just a vague impression of a man. Suddenly you realize you have no memory of the face that awaits you there underneath the soft vapor. Really nothing? Really, all recollection of the person you are, the people in your life, and even the world you are in has drowned in a sea of blood alcohol. This was no mere night of drinking, it was a deluge of world-ending proportions. Do I wipe the mirror, or do I just leave without looking in the mirror?
I think we wipe. We want to have a look at,
Okay.
Want to see what happens when we look at
As
ourselves.
you slowly reach your hand towards the surface of the mirror. Inland Empire, whatever that is telling me. So this is one of the really cool things about the game. So I've made a decision. What's really I didn't realize until I'm playing this now is how good of a tutorial this what we're doing now is. So now, abort. You clearly have not thought this through. Okay. You won't like what you will see it there, and you'll never unbecome it. And so now we have a choice. We can either say I don't care and wipe the mirror. Maybe I should just touch it first, make sure there's nothing wrong with my face.
There's definitely something wrong with our face.
Okay, am I touching my face? Well, I think the house would just be like, he just wipe it off angrily, I think.
Okay, fine.
I don't care, Behol. You have no idea who this thing is, do you? Dear Lord, help me, what is this? Of course I do. It's some kind of superstar. I think I'm a superstar. This is the face of a late-stage alcoholic. Definitely the superstar answer for House.
For House, yeah.
It appears you're also dead. There's clearly rigor mortis on your face, or wait, is that an expression? Are you trying to make an expression with that face? Why? I think it might be because I'm a superstar. I'm not making it. The face is making itself. I have no idea why it's there. It just is. I think it's because I'm a superstar. Please stop. It's horrible. You're scaring yourself. No, this is what superstars do. You can't, can you? It's like it's not even voluntary anymore. You have worn that grin off your face, and now it won't come off. What does it even mean? What is the emotion you're trying to convey? So, superstardom, God, I don't know, it's indescribable. I think it's supposed to look suggestive. I'm afraid it's meant to be for the ladies.
Oh, God.
I'm insinuating that I'm vaguely sympathetic. I think I'm a sort of pulling it off too in a sad has-been kind of way. There's some chance to it. It's an expression of pain. I feel like House actually is always in pain, and we have to go with the expression of pain. Okay. Or is it superstar? Like it's those two. There's two opposites there. What do you?
Yeah.
Where do we go?
Well, I think you've answered superstar to a lot of them, so let's go with the expression of pain to kind of suggest there's some depth there.
I got 5 XP. Mirror,
nice.
You are correct.
Nice.
So now, so I've got 2 skill checks here I can do. So encyclopedia, familiar. Dig deep into your mind to locate the source of the expression. And then electrochemistry, try and stop the expression from happening.
Well, we can almost not. There's no way we're doing that as a.
And then let the mirror be. I think I've got an even chance for the first one, so let's give that a try. Okay, success. It belongs in the third decade of the current century. Enough, and this is my encyclopedia talking now, enough time has passed from that failure of revolution that for a fleeting moment, free market economy seemed like the ultimate uncontested way of life for our species. Okay. Things were good. It was smooth sailing. People made gold and champagne tinted interiors and facades to suit the times, calling this the new style. But more importantly, disco happened. For Revacol, your city, that meant only one thing: Guillaume Le Million. And okay, drama. If it doesn't rhyme, you're not pronouncing it right. Interesting.
Yeah, you weren't.
I had a student called Guillaume. Are you telling me I pronounced his name wrong for like a year?
No, I think you probably got it. Actually, you got it pretty right. Actually, now I think about that.
Thanks for it. Yeah. Out of the dazzling swirl of disco music in an open air, whatever that says, somewhere in Revacol West, Guillaume's blonde mane appeared on the screen. He sang some bullshit, then he made the expression. So I adopted it. Why? I feel I need to add a sound when I make it click click. How long ago was the new? Anything else like who I am? Why did I drink myself into oblivion? I'm gonna do the why I drunk myself into oblivion. You have some understanding of the near history of the disco. The rest is darkness, aside from the useless fact that the motor carriage outside was Copris Kinema. So
what I'm interested immediately about, like some of the branching narratives for what we're doing, and I hate to interrupt the flow just briefly, is that it re-offers you some of the same options.
Yeah.
And when we've been doing dialogue for Making It Home, I've on purposely not been doing that. So that's really interesting, but we'll come back to that in a minute.
Okay. Do we want to look at some? Are we interested in why? Any of these?
Why he's grinning like an idiot? Like I just want to make sure that's what we're currently trying to figure out. Okay. All right.
Should we get? Let's do it. So I adopted it. Why?
Come on.
Yeah. Everyone loved it. Maybe you thought some of the stardust would rub off on you. Maybe it did. Either way, it's all gone now. Only the grimace remains. Okay. I feel the need to add a clicking sound when I make it. The click is used to spur on a horse. It also features heavily in Guillaume Le Million's regional mega hit, Don't Worry Your Pretty Little Head. How long ago was the new? Some 20 odd years. There is a vast ocean of time between right now and the expression, looking good on you or anyone. Humanity has run aground in that time. It's a different world now. The expression is a relic. I guess that's it then.
Okay.
So what happened there? So I don't. So something interesting happened. I'm going to show you. Mirror. It doesn't have to be. You can swoon over Guillaume and his champagne cork smile whenever you want to. Maybe some of the stardust will return, and I can do that skill check of. I mean, it's low. Like I could try. I could get the skill check. Like it's 3% chance, but 3% ain't zero.
True, but there seems to be genuine negative effects.
Yeah, I think we're going to leave the mirror for now, and actually, like I think House would be okay with that. So this has opened up something I didn't realize. Like I have only recently figured out what this is. So I now have that unlocked a thought. Okay. So in my thought cabinet,
I like the artwork.
Yeah, the artwork is phenomenally good. Like, so there's Guillaume Million. So the problem is, whatever happened to him, whatever happened to Guillaume Million, who with his amber mane and blah blah blah, bewildered and tattered remains of the nation. While you suffered and suffered, did he dematerialize in a cloud of cocaine dust, or did he simply stand in the corner and melt into the slendering new lines of starlit? Boy, I don't know. Spare a thought from his great ass too, or wait, maybe he became a police officer. Okay. So I can internalize that thought and work on it in the background while doing everything else. Okay, but what I will temporarily, or for the next 4.5 hours, have -1 logic. Because my head's in the clouds thinking about it.
Because you're thinking this through.
Because I'm thinking about it. And I think, this guy we've got logic, we've got an excess of logic, right? So we could do this. We'll gain some, I think we gain some kind of experiences, and it leads to stuff. So I guess we go for it. Let's internalize it. Yeah. So now this goes into the slot.
Okay,
and now I've got my hit bonuses, which are actually negative, but some of them, like you do get some bonuses, and I can stop it at any time. So if there's a skill check that needs logic, I can come in here and stop it.
Oh, okay.
And restart it. I don't know if there's any penalty for doing that, but right. What say we leave? Do we want to leave the room? Is there anything? Oh, there's a broken glass.
I think we've all right. Yeah, we've. I mean, so when you're playing these kind of games, Sean, which I appreciate, you did say this isn't your kind of game anyway. Are you a kind of, I'm in a space, I need to see everything that's there kind of guy, or do you think
probably the closest? I guess I do. With this kind, because yes, I think I'd go around and speak to everyone I could speak to, pick up everything I could pick up, touch everything I could. I wouldn't necessarily do the side quest, but I would. You at least and interact. I would know that there's a side quest there that I'm not doing.
Sure.
Yeah, there was something else. Is there a door in? Yeah,
there is a door. Yeah, there we go.
I don't know why. Why is there a door there?
Is it like a shout? No. Can you interact with it? Doesn't look like it.
He's trying to. There's the sound that you can't hear of him trying to open it, but he doesn't.
Okay, all right.
But we can go out. Should we go on the Wildwood? Anything you want to chat about before I head out?
No. It's fine.
But feel free to interrupt if, don't worry about. One of the reasons I thought it would be good to play this is because you're thinking about the making it home stuff dialogue.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've got. I think let's talk to a character because we haven't done that yet. Okay, Khaleesi. I think pronounced Khaleesi. I'm going to. The young woman raises a cigarette to her lips. Conceptualization. A silver jumpsuit falls off her like scale armor, sparkling. This is the sparkle of too many nights out in the city. So the two things. Officer, am I a military personnel, or I turn my bloated face away from her beauty and just keep walking? I think I'm going to talk to her.
No.
She seems perplexed by your question. So there was some, for your benefit, Dave, there was some voice that the way they handle a lot of the voice acting is that her dialogue there was voiced, so it said no, but then the rest is kind of you read, which I think works really nice. Now, what I think is quite interesting, I've heard there was GameSpot did an interview with one of the developers on this, and he was talking about this whole UI is very different to the way most games with dialogue work. That most games have dialogue here, in the middle at the bottom of the screen, but that's not where your eyes tend to be drawn on screens. Actually, most people are drawn to the bottom right of a screen.
Okay,
so
interesting.
And this is actually modeled off Twitter. So this is supposed to look like a Twitter feed.
I mean, I can see why. Yeah, and I did. I will admit I didn't click the link, but I did see that article being shared around, and watched the first couple of seconds of the clips. And it seemed really interesting, that idea that how you handle a game like this with so much text in it.
For sure. And I think so. One takeaway from this is not to be scared of using text.
Well, so I think I can understand why you would say that, but I think this is obviously incredibly context specific about this kind of game. This is a point and click adventure game, right? Or a point and click role playing game.
Yeah.
That's pretty different in terms of pacing and speed to a platformer, for example, for our purposes, or even a game like I'm thinking Final Fantasy or something like that. it has far less text in it because you're like the speed at which you're running around and doing battles and stuff is way different to this, right?
Yeah.
Whereas,
yeah.
I mean, like really good. I hate coming back to MMOs and stuff like that, but like, yes, they have a bunch of text in them, but most players are clicking through. Whereas you can't really just click through this, can you?
Like this is the game.
It'd be pointless. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's like an important distinction to raise
I think
at this
so.
point for that.
Okay, so she offered. So I've said, officer, am I a military personnel? And she's like, no. So, well, instead of trying to think it through myself, let's just ask her. Then why did you call me an officer?
Because you're a police officer, sir.
She pulls on her cigarette. Okay, I feel like the house response here would be goddamn right, my policeman, and don't you forget it.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
Cool, I won't.
No need to be alarmed. I was just getting into character. I don't think he'd care about alarming her.
No.
So good. How did you know I was a police
First
officer?
I have to ask, are you okay, sir? You
All
look
of a
like
sudden,
you're
she looks
throw up.
genuinely concerned.
Can I bring you something?
So that was an interest. I don't know if I maybe talked over the voice acting then, but it's interesting when they do the voice acting across a sentence that isn't voice acted.
Right.
That
well,
makes
with
sense.
the with some description in the middle.
Yeah. So yeah, you look like you're about to throw up. Can I bring you something? She's right. Something wants to come out through your mouth right in front of her, right here. It makes you put your hand on your stomach and swallow. I'm fine. Answer the question. I feel wretched. Tell me, how do you know I'm with the police? I'm fine. Answer the question.
You've been here for 3 days on official police business, no less.
For a moment, it looks like you're going to blow, but you've managed to keep it in. What kind of business?
I couldn't say. In truth, so far, mostly drinking.
So my logic, which is very high, you have no doubt about the drinking, but do you strike yourself as a tight-lipped drunk? She must have heard something. So I might not know where I am or who I am or what a copia schema is, how I know what one sounds like. So I don't really remember being a cop or anything else. Why would anyone let me be an officer of the law? Suggestion, try the expression on her and let her know you want her physically. I should get going now. Where are we going, Dave?
We're definitely not hitting number 4.
Okay.
That's not within our character, and it's clearly hard for us to pull off.
God damn,
I think,
but the other thing, okay, so this is kind of a gameplay thing, and also like something I like. So we've got a +1 bonus on that one because I said, "God damn right, I'm a policeman." So depending on your dialogue choices, you get bonuses on the future things that are happening. Okay, so I think, like, I kind of think House would be like, why would anyone let me be an officer of the law?
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, now, like, I wonder sometimes with the voice acting, there's some lines that just aren't voice acted, like they voice acted some and then added some lines or something, and that would obviously be expensive.
Yeah.
So usually it's here. It's usually in cases where you've got that kind of repeated dialogue. So this, I guess, this is like almost optional dialogue. So she said, "Don't be so harsh on yourself. They let almost anyone be a police officer." Okay, I'm gonna get going now.
Of course.
See, there's something interesting about this. Like, I don't like. Oh, sorry.
That's right. Yeah. So I'll repeat that. Of course, she puts out a cigarette. Be careful, officer. They don't like the police around here. That's an important story beat.
Important detail, I imagine. Yeah.
She looks back at you, a light glinting off her eyes.
Goodbye.
Okay, what were you going to say?
I don't like when games are doing, like, it's a small bugbear. It's not like a big deal breaker or anything. But when you've got decisions like that, of things to say, and you've chosen from those 3 options, say, of what you want to say, and then it gives it moves. The conversation feels like it moves on, but then you've got those two options back again, and you're like, well, on the first time round, I chose not to say it, and what it seems to me to kind of encourage is this: I'm just going to try them all, and that to me makes it feel like all that matters is the order in which you do them, not the fact that you're choosing between three options.
Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way. And like because like in a way it's like you do the Mass Effect. Usually in role-playing games, you've got those choices that you know are the optional ones, and you just go like, or in any kind of dialogue game, you kind of go through and you do what you just said, right? You go through, you ask all the questions, and it
will eventually
they run out, and you're like, right? Oh, I've done everything.
Yeah.
Whereas,
and that just means it's every character interaction is just kind of a war of attrition rather than like a sense of choice. So, I mean, it might not be the case for all of them. Some of those decisions it doesn't do that for. So it could be about how the branches of the narrative are actually kind of constructed. That they feel like they have to let you. And it could also be all linked into the skill system as well. Like, so you're saying that like certain, things are happening behind the scenes that we're not seeing.
Yes.
So like when you have each one of those options might have a skill check to them. So the game developer is like, well, I feel like I have to give them an opportunity to take those skill checks, like all three of them, and not just cut two away from. So it is interesting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So okay, so I can click on a lot of these blue dots. I can click on things. So I just saw the date on the calendar. So this is okay. Looks like she left a nice long stub in the ashtray. It's still smoking. And now I have a thought.
Gross.
So I can click on this thought. Electrochemistry. You should pick that fat juicy cigarette butt from the tray, light it up, and smoke the living shit out of it. The what now? What? Go on.
So that's definitely not what House would do. Like,
he would smoke.
Does he smoke?
Yeah, he's a drug addict.
Sorry.
He would most definitely do it.
That seems a dodgy choice for a doctor. But
yeah, he's addicted to like painkillers. So
that's different to smoking, isn't it?
It is different. Well, but he does. I think he smokes too.
Okay.
Like, so am I a smoker? Who knows what you are? A monster, a murderer, the gnome of Jeremiah. You feel like a smoker, especially when you look at that juicy, succulent, seductive cigarette stub still smouldering deliciously. But she broke it at the filter. I can't smoke that.
God, this is getting grim. Yeah, okay.
How very astute of you. This renders it ineffectual. You should look for a whole cigarette, or better yet, an entire pack. Strike that a carton. Make sure they're all healthy and able-bodied, and smoke them all. Yes, I should do that. I should enthusiastically do that. I should not do that.
Nice.
I'll make that priority one. Well, I'll think about it. I should not do that. I feel is almost the like, or do we just?
It's kind of the snarkiest option, isn't it?
Yeah. Good. They'll make you stronger and better. You're too old to be cool now, but find cigarettes, smoke them, blam! Instantly a cool renegade man, a mystical red dragon with smoke rising from his nostrils. New task, find smokes and smoke them. Plus, smoking them gives massive bonuses.
Wow. It's a really interesting message to give in this day and age.
Yeah.
Although we are in 51 by the sound of it, so...
then this is added a task to my task list. So, like, this is one thing about the game, actually, and like, I think I texted you the other day when a situation came up. Like, there's one thing suggesting you should smoke, but sometimes what they do quite well is that this idea of that you can't really control those voices, and some of them get really dark and in a way that makes you made me very uncomfortable, but in a way that I can't remember what I said, but like I can't even remember the situation, but I remember thinking, holy shit, I've not felt like that from a game before. That's like, it's the way they've modeled this internal monologue is really clever, I think.
One thing that again from that GameSpot kind of piece that I did see was like the guy saying, that's one of the reasons why it has to be quite so confrontational and bombastic at points is people that people respond to that in text like well. If it's not like that, then we might glaze over. And that's something to be aware of for making it home, because I think we so far I've been quite subtle and nicey about even the antagonists in there. But again, it's context, isn't it? Like, we're making a game about a ladybird jumping around a pixelated vehicle, whereas this is like a grim, like you wake up with no trousers on kind of game.
Yeah, but it's interesting. Like, that's a massive contrast there. Like, is that something we could use to make that more? So something like that, a game like it's become my favorite game of all time. Like Outer Wilds is incredible, and they use that very well because it's kind of, the art style is very Kerbal, but the game is terrifying, absolutely terrifying, and very. And it's about trying to make you feel the terror of being in space. Whereas Kerbal Space Program, like, you lose, but it's kind of a laugh. But
you were the terror in space.
Yeah, but with Outer Wilds, I think because they use that, they know that you see it and you think Kerbal, and so that you expect it to be kind of like, funny, haha. You don't expect to slowly like get crushed as sand fills up in a cave, and like hearing everything crack around you really slowly, and it's terrifying. And that's, so they do that. Like, is there could you do that kind of thing? Or
could you? I mean, it's about subverting expectations, isn't it? And I think you can do that, definitely. Again, it depends on what your core message of the game is, and who your target audience for that.
I think that is something we need to decide on still, kind of. Like,
it is a little bit, it is a little bit. I mean, some genre questions, like the type of game it is, don't necessarily. It's more aesthetic questions, and we've been led in part by our capabilities as much as our, aspirations.
Yeah,
with that. So, what's this buzzing around your head now?
Okay, nothing on the front page rings a bell. So he looked at the newspaper and nothing on the front.
Okay.
Let's head downstairs. There might have been some things that I missed up there, but
how does it control?
It just, you click and move. Like,
sorry. How does it feel to control it? Like, it's kind of, it looks clunky. Like, it's a weird.
Really?
Well, in a kind of way that this is a weird way to play games now, right? Like,
I suppose to me this is like, just, I used to play point and click adventure games all the time when I was a kid. Like, that was my game. That was my favorite style. But I'm still like for me, I'm finding I really like it because I'm super lean back playing this. Like, it's one hand. Like, it's not. I don't often feel this way playing PC games. Of like really, really quite relaxed.
But it is quite an odd choice, isn't it? I think, like, if if it was a AAA game on PS4, for instance, obviously because of the controller element, you'd be running around like totally freely, wouldn't you? Really. So
you can run, but I think it's like, that's important. There's a few times where the pathfinding's kind of annoyed me a bit, but
no, it's just an interesting choice.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's very, and we've talked about this a lot, of like how we're kind of making design choices around the idea that we want controller support.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe we should just say, screw it. It's on PC at the moment, so let's just make it so everyone's got a mouse.
Well, it makes absolutely no sense for our current game. Like, if we are 100%, like, people 100% want to play with a controller.
But I mean, like, in the menus and stuff.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. But
yeah, okay. Where do you want me to go? Do you want me to talk to this guy, or look at all these things?
Look at I think talking to a guy is would be the thing I would do immediately before wandering around a room looking at this, but maybe I'm...
No, let's do that. Let's just go talk...
trad.
We're going to just go talk to the guy.
Yeah.
Guards.
And then...
Go on, what?
Then look at his stuff.
Well, then maybe look at the stuff, depending if we think he's interesting. So, the Cafeteria Manager. A man in his late 20s stands behind the counter, inspecting a stuffed seabird. As you approach, he gives you a sideways glance, then looks down again. Empathy. Easy, okay. That was disdain in his eyes. Even now, he's purposely ignoring you. So, something tells me you don't like me. Look at the stuffed bird. Are you the bartender? I feel like "are you the bartender" when I know he's the manager is a very House thing to say. Right? Are you the bartender?
No, I'm not the bartender. I'm the cafeteria manager.
You look like a bartender.
That period of my life is over. Not everyone who stands behind a counter is a bartender, okay? I'm the cafeteria manager.
What's the difference
I
between...
have 3 cafeterias to manage. 3. Sylvie tends the bar here, not me. I'm only standing in.
do we want to know where Sylvie went?
Obviously, we want to know
She
where
does,
Sylvie's gone.
You know.
He shrugs. Drama. His eyes dart from left to right. This man isn't lying, but he is hiding something. Okay, right. So she just what? So how do we suggest that we know that she just what? Okay, then probably see just what, right?
Yeah.
So now you're a cop? Forget it.
So it's doing the thing that you again. So we've now got the same dialogue choices. So I'm going to say I don't think House would care if he doesn't like him, so he's not going to ask that. I think House might stare at the stuffed bird though. A competent work of taxidermy, the white and brown seabird lies amongst piles of coasters and drying mugs. One of its wings is broken. The man is trying to mend it. Looks like the bird was ripped off the shield that was used to mount it, most likely on a wall. I wonder who did that. This is the Great Suka, my encyclopedia. The seabird is a symbol for the discovery of the Insula, the part of the world you're in right now. Oh, so I think I'm going to tell him what bird it is.
Yeah,
because everyone likes it when they point out. Yeah,
House would definitely do that.
That's the Great Suka, right?
Look, your buddy is over there.
He looks at the doors where a man in a bomber jacket is tapping his foot on the floor.
Why don't you go and talk to him, okay?
I'm a cop. I'll talk to whomever I please. He pretends not to hear you, concentrating on the bird instead. I'm gonna leave. How is chat, Dave? I heard you typing.
Cool. Yeah, just Mac pointed out that he preferred a controller these days, even though some that kind of feels like it puts him at a disadvantage, and it felt like it was a bit more chill. And I pointed out like that sometimes it's not often, but sometimes when I'm at keyboard and mouse, it kind of feels like because I spend so much work time at keyboard and mouse in front of a screen that actually being in front of the screen with a controller in hand feels like potentially I'm having a bit more playtime.
Yeah, this is the first game I've ever felt relaxed with keyboard and mouse. Like I tend to prefer to play with controllers, like generally, like because they're like designed for it.
Sure.
But like obviously, like shooters, I found like I played Halo Reach, like with mouse and keyboard, which was weird because that's a game I always played on controller. Okay, I looked at a speaker. Inland Empire. What?
Yeah, go on.
Inland Empire, which I still don't really understand what Inland Empire is.
Isn't it the inside of you, like your psychogeography?
I don't like. Okay, so Inland Empire is saying you should totally sing karaoke here. The first chance you get, your emotions need to be expressed. People need to know the vast oceanic soul.
So yeah, it's your internal landscape.
Yeah,
is what that inland.
So I like House is kind of confident. But I don't think he's this kind of confident. I don't know. Is he like his soul? His soul. What's Sherlock Holmes? What's Sherlock Holmes' soul?
So he would feel there's
Yeah.
It's whether or not he believes in the soul. I don't know enough of my original Conan Doyle Holmes to.
This is almost like confidence. And should we just say it's obscured by The Hangover?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Of course, at this point, precise measurements of your soul can only be performed from the outside. It needs to be heard through a PA system by other people. Okay, this goes well with the theory that I'm developing that I'm a down on my luck superstar person. Yeah, okay. Who is mistakenly identified as a cop for his prominent jawline. Yes, sounds likely. You should probably go on stage and pose for a moment when you're done with this thought. See if it works. What should I sing?
It is really bizarre to just a game just talking to yourself. Like,
yeah,
yeah, it's very strange.
It's really I really like it. What should I sing when it comes to it? You have not yet stumbled on the right lamentation. Mention, but it's out there. It'll come to you. You'll wreak havoc with it. Don't worry. Lamentation sounds good. They'll really get a gauge on my soul with that. I was thinking maybe I could sing something happy, get the people going. I don't think he'd sing anything happy.
He wouldn't be singing anything happy. No.
Serves them right. Wipe that smirk off their face with your sad, tragic song. Who's laughing now? No one.
Except me.
New task. Sing karaoke. You have to find something tragic to sing first, though. Finish my thought. What were we going to say?
You know what? So yeah, it suddenly randomly occurred to me that whilst the dev was talking about like how hard it is to get people to read text, people don't want to read text. What people do want to do, there's like a narcissism to this game that I think actually people would really respond to, which is basically you're spending a lot of time talking to yourself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think actually that's a really interesting way to engage people in a way that I wouldn't have expected.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's that much.
Should I go talk to? Right. I think it's.
Wait, you got a buddy, right?
Yeah, I'll talk to my buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Kim Kitsuga. I'll say Kim. A bespectacled man in an orange bomber jacket is tapping his foot on the floor. Looks like he's waiting for someone. You. As you approach, he narrows his eyes and extends his hand in greeting. Shake his hand, don't shake his hand. I don't think House would shake his hand. Would he?
I don't know. You've watched more of the episodes.
Yeah, I don't think you would.
Hello. I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant, Precinct 57. You must be from the 41st.
You realise he's waiting for your name. So I can either... I don't really know my name... or I can invent a name for myself, which is a high skill check.
But you're a medium chance. You've got a high. Yeah,
high. I think we should definitely invent a name, right?
Yeah.
Okay, come on. Yes, we got it. Concentration makes you squint your eyes. Your name should be deep golden orange, like a forest fire looming on the horizon, but mixed with a stench of liqueur rising from your breath. You're 2 steps closer to it, but there's still many to go.
Oh,
it's not yet time. I don't really know my name, or say nothing.
1 or 3, I think. I don't think he would admit to not knowing.
No, but I feel like saying nothing is admitting to not knowing. Is it?
Yeah, maybe number 1 then. Yeah, I can see that logic.
He processes the information, then disregards it.
Looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday. Saturday too, actually. Have you had time to talk to the manager here?
What he means is he has been trying to meet up with you for 2 days, but you have been otherwise occupied. So this is this is again interesting. I think this is interesting because if we didn't this is tutorial, I guess we're still in kind of tutorial land in a way, early game. At some point, we'd be missing these and not know that we were missing them, or we might be missing checks. Checks could be going on all the time. We're not seeing them.
Yes, is that not the case?
Yeah,
I was
that is the case.
That was the case.
But I think these are quite low.
Oh, okay.
Ones, but I could be completely wrong. Anyway. So have I had time to talk to the manager? So you mean him? Yeah, I just talked to him. No, I haven't. There must be some kind of misunderstanding. You're taking me for someone else. I would just say yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't mind with him again, ask him for a rundown of the area. Now that I'm here as well. I understand the scene is out back, right? It also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. Have you mapped out the initial interviews?
Yes, the police. I'm aware I'm a policeman. We got...
Right. And the interviews?
He taps his foot more out of habit than impatience. Like, so okay, how deep do we go? Do we just say like that we've done these interviews, or do we?
Yeah, are you willing to bluff it, or are you you going to tell the truth?
What do I don't know. What
I mean, it feels like, am I wrong in saying that House will bluff his way through a situation rather than admit his own ignorance?
I think so. So I have, yes.
But even if you haven't, we'll have time for that after we take a look at the coroner's case. Have you removed the dead body from the tree?
Have I removed the dead body from the tree? Dead body? I don't like dead bodies. Look, man, yeah.
Yeah.
No, completely. Where do we go with this?
Right. Well, we can strike the dead body. I don't like dead bodies because, like, obviously he does.
Yeah.
He's okay with that. Again, how deep is your bluff going?
Completely.
Okay.
We're gonna get caught out in this lie because.
Oh yeah.
Like, but let's just. I just see what happens in a way. Completely.
Does that mean you took the body down from the tree?
No. Where do we go?
I think you have to say yeah, right? Like,
look, man, yeah.
Does that mean the body is no longer...
This is quite good, isn't it? Okay.
Well, is it? I don't know if it is good.
But it's
interesting because, like,
but
he's not responding to your but maybe other things are in the background.
So I mean, to me, the way I'm interpreting this is he's already gone out the back and knows that the body's there, and so he's saying, "You've taken it down from the tree," and I've said yes when he knows that it's there.
But
so you'd be like, does that mean that no?
No, I think. Well, I mean, I don't know if you know more about it than I do. Obviously, Kevin played a little bit longer, but there's nothing to suggest from his dialogue alone, unless I'm missing something from the tone when he reads out loud, that complex interaction of knowing and not knowing and bluffing is going on, and he's not just repeating basically. Does it mean it's not there? Does it mean it's not there? Because you've both bluffed. So you've tried to say yes, it is.
What would make sense? Again.
Well, what would make sense to me is if maybe we've failed a few skill checks and we haven't noticed. But if this Kim guy is basically implying that we're lying without saying you're lying, right? Like that's like, and you've assumed that's what's going on. But you could also assume that, like, maybe if you don't give the game as much credit, it would be right. I have to say at some point that I haven't. Because a yes answer doesn't
work here because I'm going to say completely again. See what
completely. Does that mean you took the body down?
So it's repeated that dialogue there. So where do we go then? Like, should we no should be the last thing we do? Is that like? But I think. Well, I don't like dead bodies. Can't be a thing. They're both basically no.
Aren't they? Now say dead body either, can you? Because you've just said you've taken it down.
Yeah.
So that makes no sense either.
Okay, so we haven't completely taken it down.
So the body is
still in the tree. Empathy. This is the first time you detect a weariness in the lieutenant's voice. It's obvious he would have preferred for the body to no longer be in the tree.
Yeah, no shit. Sorry, not supposed to swear, but we're allowed to swear in this one.
No, we've been swearing
as soon as we are done talking to the owner.
Where has been hanging for 7 days straight. What have I told you? I'm not really a police officer. How can you be so sure I'm from the police, but I can't remember anything? What were we supposed to do? What were we supposed to do again? Or let's get going then. I think House would just be like, come on then.
Okay.
No? Do you think we should...
Yeah, no, like, it depends how much you want to know. If I wanted to know more, I'd be like, what are you supposed to do again? But we can get going.
I think, like, yeah, I didn't, yeah. So let's get going. So now we've been given some tasks. So he already said to interview the cafeteria manager, because he said to go talk to him again, right? And then inspect the victim's body. So what... Okay, logic. If you're about to embark on an investigation, shouldn't you have a badge?
Touche.
Yeah.
Touche.
Wait, shouldn't I have a badge or something? Check my pockets.
I like that he's going to say that out loud. And
yeah. You mean you don't have a badge? It wasn't on me when I woke up. Pretend you found it. I have my badge. I'm a policeman and I have my badge. Oh, there's a moment's pause. Then he continues, obliviously relieved. If you didn't have your badge, then that would be very bad. You would have to report it on my shortwave. But since you do have it, we can go straight to the task at hand. And we have now a new task to report that the badge is missing. Okay, so now Lieutenant Kim is in our party, and I can talk to him whenever by clicking him.
Okay.
So he's now he's covered by my face, but like he's down here.
Oh, I wondered what that was. Yeah.
I thought this was the best place for my head because like everything is on the right side.
You're now Kim. All right.
Yes, I am now Kim. So we've got a bunch of tasks, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do? Do you want to inspect the body or talk to the
body?
Okay, so it's out the back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. I'm trying. It's taken me a lot to because I've played the first couple of hours, so I'm trying not to just be I know where the body is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm now outside. Do you want me to go straight to the body or talk to people?
Dealer's choice.
I think House would just be he doesn't have time to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I could. Okay, let's go. Okay, here's an interesting kind of point here that is different to the last time I played the game.
Okay.
So last time I played the game, I could look at this gate because my visual calculus skill was higher.
Okay, yeah.
Whereas I can't now.
Mm-hmm.
So the game will so there's some nice differences.
The complexity of it is pretty astounding in that sense, isn't it?
Okay, here's a body. Let's have a look at the body.
Wow, that's just not a body in a tree, is it?
No.
I really should have made the obvious link to someone hanging from a tree, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm. And it's been here for 7 days. The corpse looks at you with bulging white eyes. The face around them does not look human. It's swollen and ready to burst. His lips are fish-like and his tongue a ball gag in his mouth.
Nice.
You seem to be holding your breath. I can look down or I can turn away.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we talked a little bit about not just branching narratives, but quality of writing. So, as someone who cares about the quality of their writing on a day-to-day basis, that's a good way to describe a dead body. I think that works quite well. It's evocative, fish-like. Is not it avoids cliches, so that's pretty good. Ball gag is pretty evocative too. So, in case you were wondering for a professional writing opinion on it, so far,
it's a good.
It's well written.
The lead designer is a writer.
Well, there we go. We're useful for some things. Put it out there.
Do I look down or turn away?
I think you have to look down.
A cargo belt twists his neck at an unnatural angle. The body below appears stiff. It's letting out an ungodly rot. The smell seeps in even through your clenched nostrils. So, God, what is that? Why is it so bad? And then there's an endurance one, which is let go of your nose. Which I don't think we should try that because it's a low.
No, I agree.
God,
we almost had a heart attack with a fan. So I don't think
trying to get a tie off a fan gave us a heart. Yeah. Active decay. The lieutenant raises a white piece of linen to his nose. It's okay to throw up, officer. No one is judging.
I think everyone's judging.
He's about to blow. The cop's gonna blow. That's Kuno. So I'm gonna turn away and leave. Should we talk to the kid?
Yeah, I mean, that kid needs a talking to, full stop.
Yeah, he's throwing stuff.
Kuno's got this!
The boy throwing rocks at the dead body can't be older than 12. The voice acting for this kid is something else. conceptualization. If if there ever was such a thing as an ugly kid, then this is it. He's almost exquisite in his ugliness, like a gremlin.
Oh yeah, never could be Kuno.
See, I always thought Gizmo was quite cute, in fairness, though.
I'd never watched Gremlins.
What?
Yeah, I've watched like bits of it, but never the whole thing.
You should have
I knew
100%
that was a Gremlins reference, but I've not really. So his friend across the fence is shouting something.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey kid, a word, police business, a moment of your time, please. I'm not getting into this. I think it's the hey kid one.
Yeah.
Right in the dick, Kuno. Get him right in the dick.
The children ignore you.
Lob it in the dick.
Stop throwing rocks at my crime scene. Stop using slurs at my crime scene. That's not how we do it.
Number one.
Yeah.
Fuck that, Kuno. Yeah, right in the mouthhole.
The shit himself.
The rake, Kuno.
Wow.
Yeah.
You should throw the rake at him, Kuno.
The fuck does Kuno know what a rake
Throw
is?
the rake at him.
Kuno's not a gardener.
Kim, what should we do? Are you kids siblings? Look, I have questions for you.
Yeah.
Questions?
All right.
I think the others
Inside
are pretty
Kuno.
obvious.
Show me what you got. What you got there? What you got, huh? Show me what you got.
Are we going to show him what we got?
Show me what you got. Yeah.
Irregular speech patterns, overconfidence. Could this kid be on drugs? This warrants further investigation into this Kuno. The body, what do you know about it? About the crime scene you kids often play in this yard. I got to ask, who is Kuno? I think I got to ask who is Kuno is the kind of sarcastic thing. Kuno's Kuno pig. The boy points to his chest with both thumbs. Logic.
Nice.
It's always Kuno, never I. Clearly the kid's using the third person's perspective as a shield. Interesting, you refer to yourself in the third person to distance yourself from the situation. Yeah, I feel like that's the kind of...
You're going to bamboozle him with point of view.
Kuno doesn't do that smart shit. He seems offended. Don't throw that book shit at Kuno. Kuno knows you're lying. Trying to get Kuno hooked on the book. Watch out, Kuno. He's going to try fiddling you. He's going to put his hands on you. The thing behind the fence starts squealing, shrill and violent like a fire alarm. The sound gets louder as the child shouts at the windows overlooking the yard. Help, pig's got Kuno. Help, rape. Help, the boy joins in. He's got the Kuno. Help. What should we do? Leave? Answer question? Like...
Did we even ask her a question? Ask him a question yet?
I don't think we did. Just answer the question. Help, he's digging his dick out. Escalate, Kuno. His dick is out. You're afraid. Pigs are hurting Kuno. Someone please. It's full blast now. The wind carries the message far and wide across Martinez. Logic. How did we get here? How did this happen? This makes no sense. There may still be a way out. Just appeal to his reason.
I don't think we can do that.
I like... So, be logical, kid. I haven't done anything. What's this sick charade? Who put you up to this? Are you high right now? Or I can punch him, which is shut him down, which I guess means punch. It's an even chance.
I mean, it'd be really embarrassing if you fail to punch a kid.
Would it like? I don't think House is the punching type. Even though I kind of want to see what happens. What should we do?
I mean, if we don't think we're going to get anything, it's just going to be the rest of this, then we should just back off. But, if you wonder if we handled this moment correctly, we'd actually get some information about the scene or what actually happened.
Mm-hmm. So I think we back off.
Mm-hmm.
Kuno whispers as you retreat, vanishing silently. What?
I'm interested in the fact that they've asterisked out some of those. Did they actually did the voice acting?
No, it was like a static.
Right.
So I think these are probably there's like slurs that are kind of directed at police. I think, which they hide and It's kind of
That's an unusual choice, isn't it? Considering presumably some of the other language.
Oh, the other stuff was not, but
it
was full on. So drama, for emphasis, a ghost is saying this. A shit-eating psychopathic ghost with an ace up his sleeve. I know you wanted to hit me, Kuno says. He lets it linger. You got that I'm gonna fuck that Kuno up. Look at that Kuno's dad get. Look, that Kuno's dad gets. The murderer look, the rage look. Yeah. Relax, he can't read your mind. He doesn't know you were thinking that. We were totally thinking that. So, no, yes, but I didn't act on it. It was just a fantasy. Yes, how do I get back to it? I want to go back to that thought. How do you know that? You can't see inside my head. Whisper, can you read my mind, Kuno?
I don't like any of these answers.
No, but this is I think this is the game in a nutshell. Is that you get to these situations where you're like, I didn't mean this to happen. This has just escalated, and I don't like this situation. And I think it's a good design choice. Like, I think it's an interesting thing. That is, I prefer those kind of games where the dialogue, because you can't in real life, you can't reverse, can you? Like you start talking and you're like gone, things, and you're and in some cases, like you're depending on what's happened to you, where your skills are, you lose choices and things happen without you having a choice, and then you have to deal with that problem that your psyche has caused. So I feel like out of these, so I think that it was just a fantasy is a kind of house response. I know what you thought. I'm going to fuck that Kuno up. I'm going to shut that shit down. You know what? You should have, because now he raises his voice again. You're nothing. You're a joke to Kuno. Kuno laughs at you. He spreads his arm, taking dominion over the yard. King Kuno. Kuno turned you into his prison bitch. You're going to be in this shit with Kuno.
Can we punch him now?
No, the lieutenant almost rolls his eyes. You're not. We can just leave. Bitch, you're going to be forever in this shit with Kuno forever. The peepo-headed critter doesn't let him finish. A peepo is a type of hat, by the way. Encyclopedic knowledge chips in.
Thanks, Encyclopedia.
So now I can say nice peepo. You don't talk to me about my fucking peepo. You don't know where I come from. You're just Kuno's bottom bitch. Leave.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, that's gone well to start with.
So yeah, I did. So like, I think now would probably be a good time to kind of like talk about what you think, and before we get really deep into the story, what do you think?
Sure.
I'm just looking at the time and like.
Fair dues. It's super interesting that a game like this has found an audience at this particular time. When you compare it to other games that are doing really well, I think one thing that immediately springs to mind is Goose Game and what you said about it, which I hadn't like really twigged, but made a whole lot of sense when you said, I'm enjoying it, but at points I feel like it's like one of those old point and click adventures where you've got to get like pixels lined up just right to solve a puzzle.
Yeah.
And then and here comes another point and click kind of game, adventure game that is obviously very heavy text based with a really complex branching text system. Which is but the look and feel and the controls of it and stuff are pretty retro in that sense.
One thing I would is worth pointing out is when it's interesting when you like, I think in your head you were thinking about this interaction with Kuno of like, you said if we'd have done this in the correct way, we'd have got the information we needed to get.
Well, maybe I should have said it in a different way. But
but it kind of says something that you said it in that way, like that. And that the way this game works is that I think there are lots of avenues, and that you don't need to get that information. or like you can. There's quite a lot of ways of getting the information you need.
Well,
or how you progress.
yeah.
You don't even need to do this.
Uh-huh.
Like, from what I can gather, I haven't got very far. And the game hints this. I'm going to move away from this kid swearing.
Fair enough.
This game kind of it starts hinting at you for a bit. It's like saying it will start saying things like, "Hey, you don't have to you don't have to solve the case. Just go like look around the city, do stuff."
Yeah,
and like other things. Yeah, it's so like whereas Goose Game is very much like you need this is the way you solve the puzzle and this is the only way.
Yeah, you can only progress through these certain gateways, literal and metaphorical. Yeah. I think there's a lot to talk about there, isn't there? Really, because like on the one hand, like sandbox gaming is obviously a massive thing, and everybody like a lot of people really like that kind of approach of I'm just going to wander around this world, consume this content at my own pace and in the order of which I choose. And to other people, that's almost not a game. Like it becomes like an experience, and maybe some people want that, and maybe some people don't. In terms of storytelling, it becomes really interesting as well because. Again, like thinking of this through what we're talking about in terms of Inky, the branching narrative system we're using for making it home, and people have used like for lots of things, including 80 Days, the guys that developed it, blah 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 blah. It's like, on the one hand, it's great that information can be found in multiple sources, and what what Inky lets you do is say, "Oh, you got this information from Kuno, so I don't need to give it to you from Bob."
Yeah.
Right? Like, and you can have a completely different conversation with Bob because you've actually got the information from Kuno. But then when you find Bob later on and you didn't get the information from Kuno, click, okay, Bob will give you the information now because you ballsed it up with Kuno. And I think if the players aren't thinking about it too carefully, I think that system can work beautifully. But I think it feels slightly paper thin in the sense that once you realize that's what's going on, then I think again it undermines the importance of some of your decisions because you're like, oh, the game needs me to know this piece of information, so at some point it's going to give it to me.
Yeah,
like
I'm not sure how. I couldn't tell you if that is how that's how this happened.
No, I'm making a bunch of assumptions or guesswork really because it's more of the concept of when does information happen and how you gatekeep that.
Yeah, so
games,
it's probably worth bringing up the point. I kind of mentioned it at the start of the stream, but it makes more sense now that you've seen the game. I got soft locked, so I'll show you where I went actually. I won't do it, but so I was just exploring around here and I was talking to these guys and whatever. And then I was doing the thing I said I always do, and I eventually came to this. So I can't remember how. I think I could just get through. Okay, so an inconspicuous pile of roofing material. Okay, so like I might not be able to do it here because. So my perception, I need a skill check. So I failed it. It's a nice. Why is this roofing material here? Because it's a nice and orderly, well laid palette, easy on the eyes. Whereas when I played it in my game, it was like that's hiding something.
Right.
So nothing. Someone just left some roofing material slattered on an old shack. Glad you asked what this is. When junior researcher Oral Tal invented, I love this, Ertonite in the blah blah blah, some 30 odd years ago, he thought it would last forever. Hence the name Ertonite. Sadly, the only thing that turned out to be the material is highly carcinogenic effect. So I can't even get there now, right? But when I was playing on my other save, like he saw that this, because I had a certain skill, he saw that I could get into a door, and I ended up going up here, and there's a jacket. You can see my jacket up here. So I climb up here, jump down there to get the jacket, and then I was stuck in an area that I couldn't get out of because I needed a key card.
Right.
And the only way you can get a key card is talking to someone there and passing a skill check. And my other skills weren't high enough for me to pass that skill check. It was like a 2-3% chance. And so I was stuck. there was no like this like you were saying how the game knows you need this, therefore it will give you it.
Yes.
Like it wasn't doing that, and that was frustrating, and that's when I was like almost like, oh, screw this game. But I kind of I just decided to try once more, and by luck, chance, I've passed the skill check.
You passed the 2%.
I happened to pass the 2% skill check.
Do you get how many times attempts did you know?
Well, when you fail, you would in that situation if so something you didn't see in this playthrough is there's morale and health.
Oh yeah.
In that particular skill check, you got so embarrassed that you have a mental breakdown.
Oh god.
So the game ended. It was like a failed state. So like the game, it actually ended, and the game doesn't do much in the way of autosaving really. So you have to kind of keep track of that stuff. And that was the first time because like I'm so used to games not having to worry about saving anymore.
Yeah.
Like and then to be like, this is a more kind of like old school approach and almost like a Half-Life 1 kind of quick save, quick load type situation. Also then what I discovered was that you can carry drugs with you that you can use during dialogue checks to kind of almost make these things infinite.
Right.
Well, not infinite, but because you can heal yourself.
Can help them,
anyway, so that was that I ended up getting this kind of freedom. It's very hard to test for all those situations. From what I'm not the only person that did that. But looking online, it seems to be that's the only real place people get soft locked.
Okay.
And yeah, but some people were saying actually you could just wait until night time and the person falls asleep and then you can steal the thing you need.
Okay.
But like this seems to be going in real time. So like the time you can
God.
Yeah. So like, am I going to leave my computer on? Like no, I'm not doing that. And I was kind of annoyed with the game at that point, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's interesting. I don't know if I would have realized the whole. I think it was helpful talking about Inside Out, like as a framing reference for it. I was thinking that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And that helped me at least kind of think about what was going on with those skills. Having the idea of an RPG skill talking to you is phenomenal. Like I think it's a really interesting, really cool idea.
Yeah.
It does obviously make me want to now go and see the game from a very different archetype, with the physical character or the emotional character.
Yeah.
That's would add a huge amount of replayability, I presume.
Yeah, and they were saying like how they were trying to design it so that as much as possible when you're coming to a decision point, those skills talking to you are used to remind you of stuff and to remind you of what's important. Because one thing I thought was so I was struggling with this game is that there's no real easy like notepad. Like I'm going around talking to people and finding out information, but there's no real that information doesn't seem to be recorded anywhere.
Isn't this it? Oh, I see. No, yeah,
like not like
that's your task.
This is just my tasks, and like I can do these like quests, and that will be fine. But so again, one of the reasons Outer Wilds is phenomenal is because Outer Wilds is also a mystery game. It's all about just solving a mystery, exploring a solar system. Is that it detects when you learn information and it puts that information on this log board.
Okay.
And that is that. Like if it didn't have that log board, that game would not be. It's just fantastic game design. Like just such a good design, and it does things where it will say to you, like, because it's almost like a map, and it says what you've learned in each area, and it will say, hey, there's still more for you to learn here. So you don't end up exploring. One of their key design goals was just to make sure that you weren't looking under every tree. So this idea of me going around looking at everything, they wanted to avoid that kind of like 90s action, that 90s adventure game thing. That informed how they designed everything. Was decided that they didn't want you looking under every tree. They just with the way they designed even like the world of like this tree looks too this looks out of place, like this looks like there's something interesting there, so we need to make that uninteresting.
Well, it's it just made me think a little bit about like the concept that we talk about from time to time, which is that like players will more often than not just try and take the easy way out, or the path of least resistance when it comes to any given game system. And like in this example, like, obviously your eyes immediately, the highlighted dots. Like there's things like that. And then you said there's like a tab system.
Yeah, so if I push tab now, there's other things and
other things to interact with. So like, I mean, what that leads me to think about is like it encourages a type of gameplay where those are the only things you really like see and engage with, despite the beauty of the background and things like that. Like if you are that kind of path of least resistance style gamer rather than like a total immersion style gamer, you will like focus in on those and only those in a way that presumably is fine, like, and presumably is satisfying to that kind of player.
Yeah.
But it is interesting because it kind of reduces your environment to nodes of interests. Which again, I think is, I don't know, like, that's not the Breath of the Wild approach to design, right? Like, which is like emergent systems that evolve as you interact. Yeah. So, I think that, I mean, God knows that that's an incredibly expensive approach. That emergent systems approach seems to require a lot of extra oomph.
I like it. It's the testing, because emergent systems, you only have to design. You have fewer systems to design. Whereas if you're doing something where it's all like a game like this is all about content, even though this is kind of a systematic game in a way. It's designing all these contents and how the systems interact with each other, and like the numbers, all the dice rolls going on behind the scenes. I can't. Yeah, man. Like we're just getting started writing this kind of dialogue. Not this kind of dialogue, but again, why I thought this was an important game to play today was we're thinking about how we change things, change dialogues, and keep track of what the player knows. And
yes,
because like you talk about this idea of the Bob situation where you speak to Karen and Karen tells you something that means Bob doesn't tell you, but like really Bob doesn't know Karen's told you, so the dialogue should still be there, but you should then have a response that's like, yeah, Bob, I know. That would make it feel more and like, rather than Bob not say anything,
Bob would ask the question. But whilst that on the surface sense, it's almost not utilizing complexity of the system that's behind it, right? Like I think, and I mean that there will be other examples where that system is appropriate, but I see what you mean.
But
like,
you
can own it.
Yeah, the system would then change your responses, like your available responses, based on what it knows you know.
Yes. Like if you haven't seen Karen, you can't say but I know.
Yeah, because like there's the thing. Okay. So the one thing that like we want to so like obviously we're trying to come up with a dialogue system, and that we want players to want to find out information, right? Like and much with what this game is, the thing like you always want to avoid is the situation that I have figured out who done it, but the game hasn't given me the option to go and expose that because it doesn't think I've got enough information to have found that out, even though because they've done such a good job with world building, I've been able to fill those gaps, but I haven't got to the point where I'm allowed. Do you see what I mean?
No, I can.
I'm not saying that's an easy thing or even a possible thing to do, but like but
it's an incredibly difficult thing to be on your guard against, isn't it? Like you're kind of saying, like, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's more. If you look at it from the design out point of view, like you can say this is what I don't know. If it's a true mystery, then there will be a bare minimum of facts that are required for the certain kind of player / brain to figure the answer out. Like there will be a bare minimum.
Yeah.
Like, so something we haven't played is a board game, right? Called Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective.
Yep.
Right, and it's it's kind of like a choose your own adventure style game where you're not Holmes, you're like the a group of the what do they call Baker Street irregulars, which are the kids, I think, that kind of Holmes uses from time to time. So you're trying to solve the case in fewer moves than Holmes, or like and like that's almost impossible because Holmes does it in like 4 moves, and pretty much every time I've played it, like it takes us 28 moves, and we don't even get all the answers to the questions that you're asked. But feasibly, the game is designed that if you were Holmes' level of murder mystery detection, you could do it with these 4 pieces of information.
Yeah, right.
Which I think interestingly interacts. It's the opposite effect because you decide when to say, right, I'm ready to solve the case now.
Yeah.
Rather than the game, you avoid that issue completely. You could be wrong and have got information, and Holmes says, no, you idiot, like it was this way, and you like all laugh and say what fools you are. But like in a computer game like this where it's more structured, right, like there's, you don't get to decide when it ends, presumably.
An interesting, have you played Her Story?
I haven't. I've got it on the PC, but
okay. So Her Story is the way that works is the way you're saying is that actually there's no end. There's no way of ending it, like necessarily. Like I think it figures that I think they've tried to figure out what the minimum number like of like, it's all about watching videos and like how when you figure out the thing or solve the thing, and it detects it by, I think, where you're going, like what you're looking for, but it's very very dynamic. I think it was, and even it like there's no option for you to prove that you know. Right. It's just like that. The game says to you at some point, hey, if you're satisfied, stop playing. Like in very literal. That's what it says to you, and it's like, oh, okay, and that was really interesting. But yeah.
So no, this has been super useful and interesting. Yeah, for sure.
So we got kind of engrossed, but we have our games on sale, like in all sorts of places.
Yes, gosh, sorry, I'm supposed to do that. No, someone in chat has also asked, do you play League, which I'm assuming is League of Legends.
League of Legends, I used to play. I played League. That was the first MOBA I played a long time ago. But I switched to Dota. I played Dota 2 for a long time, and was bad at it, and enjoyed it because I was bad at it. Because when you won, it was like, oh, holy shit, we won. But like we tended to go like we had one of our friends. If Mac's still in channel, I think he used to play with us. I forget who regularly. I think that a group of us did, and my friend Mad would. He was like, instead of like having a serious group of characters, let's just pick all the ones with big swords. And so like people, and that sometimes gave us an advantage because we were so far away from what the meta was that people were like, what the hell are they doing? And they just threw them. And that's how I used to like playing StarCraft 2. Was like looking what the meta was and kind of like just avoiding like meta. If people don't know, like the meta would be like, this is the play that everyone's doing. In Dota, it used to always be if there was like an international. I don't know what it is. Like, this is years ago I was playing now, like 10 years ago. God. No, maybe not 10. I don't know, like 6, 7, 8. Oh, maybe.
Feels like 10.
Yeah, it'd be like there'd be like the internationals. There'd be a big Dota tournament or something, and like whatever play was done, everyone would be trying to do that play. Like they'd be like, oh, some Dota person that I don't know any Dota, like they use this tactic, so everyone starts using it.
Yeah.
And that kind of meta, and we just weren't. Well, Mad kind of was.
I think there are, like, in a lot of different type games like that, there is a benefit sometimes of going rogue, isn't there? Of like the unexpected.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pillbug Sale. I popped the link into chat. We are 75% off on itch.io at the moment, so check us out. Where else can people find us? I mean, they should go there first.
They should go there, and pillbug.zone. We put Making It Home on itch, like the store page up.
We did.
Yeah, we've had quite a good week of development, I think, for that. Like, I feel like things are starting to really click.
Yes.
But yeah. So you're playing something next week?
Yeah, I haven't decided it yet what that will be. I'm sure it'll be super exciting.
Yeah. Maybe you should play Her Story.
That's it. Yeah. Could do.
It's that. Actually, I would. Her Story probably wouldn't work on stream because it's a lot of watching videos.
Okay. Yeah. That's always bad for us in terms of.
Well. Anyway, you pick
us chatting over it. Yeah. I'll have a think.
Cool. I didn't think this game would. I think this game's worked really well. Like I really enjoyed this.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. It feels like we've seen the systems, but we are just scratching the surface, right? Like it's.
Yeah. We haven't even no leveling up. I haven't had to look at all these skills that I haven't even touched.
Points into.
We haven't even unlocked the map.
Nice.
So there's some great stuff. Like I would recommend people who are interested watch the GameSpot interview with the guys that made this.
I think I'm gonna go and watch the interview as well.
Yeah. Well, but I could talk about this game for ages, but I love one thing I think is weird is how if I'd have took my trousers off when I tried to get that tie, there was a higher chance I could have and that kind of stuff can be a bit weird and jarring in the game. Like this, they kind of do this really good job of kind of modeling internal thought processes, and then it's I better take my trousers off before I speak to this guy because then maybe I'll be slightly more charismatic. But then that's kind of role-playing games are all about.
I guess
in a way, pen and paper, they're kind of ridiculous.
All role-playing games about taking a trip.
Yeah, that's it. There we go.
That's a good note to enter.
Thanks everybody.
All right, cheers, Sean.
Bye.